Hey, welcome to Lead Up Podcast. I'm your host and publisher of the Lead Up Podcast, Mike Harbour. This is episode 457. We're talking about the confidence catalyst, harnessing integrity to lead and motivate fearlessly. I'm really excited that you're here today. I want to start with a question that gets to the heart of what true leadership is all about. How do you build influence if you don't have formal authority? Look, I'm a believer that leadership is a profession, not a position. Many people mistake leadership for a title or a position or an org chart and where you stand on that. But real influence is the kind that inspires and drives change. It isn't granted, it's earned. It's built on the foundation of trust and confidence and authority. And authenticity, not authority, authenticity. When your team trusts your character and has confidence in you and your ability and your competence, they will follow you anywhere. Here at Harbour Resources, what we believe is that developing the kind of influence that we're talking about this is not just a soft skill. It's a critical business asset. It's an essential skill today in the world that we live in, and it directly impacts retention. It directly impacts engagement and your bottom line as a leader of an organization, leader of a team. So today we're going to break down how to build that influence with integrity. We'll discuss the role of authenticity and character and what they play in that, and how to overcome the insecurities that silently sabotage your leadership, and some daily habits that build unshakable trust. Let's start with this thought. I said it a minute ago. Leadership is not a position. It's a profession. So let me ask you this. What do the pros do? Think about professional athletes. What do they do to get better? They play a few games. Professional football players play 16 games a year and in the playoffs. What do they do to get ready for that season, for those 16 games? What about professional golfers? What about a professional lawyer? Professional physician? What do they do to really be a pro, an elite level pro, an elite level leader? And that's really what we're talking about here, is elite level leadership. And I'm going to share a few things with you to help you get to that next level. I can say in my own life, I've practiced most, if not all, of the things that we're talking about today to get to the place where I became a professional speaker, a professional coach, a trainer. I had to go to work on becoming better at my craft. I used to be a horrible speaker, scared to death, literally, to speak in front of people. I do it every day today. I had to go to work on that. So here's my first thought for you. It's the power of authenticity and character and how it plays into your influence. Influence is not about manipulation. Look, I love to watch old Andy Griffith reruns. Yes, I'm that old, and my wife makes fun of me, and she'll often say that Andy is a manipulator. And I'm like, no, he's an influencer. He's able to get people to do things that maybe they're afraid to do. He's influencing them to take action, do things in a positive direction. Influence is not manipulation. And it's not having the loudest voice in the room. I had to learn that one. I'm pretty loud if you can't tell. I'm assertive, I'm aggressive. It works well in some arenas, but in professional leadership, elite level leadership, it's really a negative. It's about being a leader whose character speaks for itself. In my book, Power Principles, we dive deep into this, particularly with power principle number 10, which states this: the power, influence, and confidence I seek from my security in who I am. The power, influence, and confidence I seek comes from my security in who I am. I will not let my insecurities create weakness in my influence. Your team, others around you that you're trying to lead and influence, they can spot a fake from a mile away. When you lead from a place of authenticity, when your words and actions are aligned with your true values, people are naturally drawn to you. They see you not just as a boss, but as a person they can rely on, a person that cares about them. We need that more. Look, I'm a results-oriented guy. I like getting results, but I've learned more and more over the years to become more authentic improve my character. And character can be developed. Many people say, well, if you don't have, you either have character or you don't. I disagree with that. Character is something that has to be developed over time. Authenticity is something that you develop over time. You get better at it. Think about the leaders that you admire most. Chances are they're people of strong character, people who are naturally drawn, that you're naturally drawn to. They're consistent. They're honest. They're genuine. And this is not just an accident. I've heard many thought leaders say this right here. People buy into the leader before they buy into the vision. Look, you can have a grand vision, you can have big goals, but if you don't have people that are bought into you, they're not going to follow you. They buy into you as a person first, more so today than ever. We live in a society today that people distrust leadership more than ever. But when they see a great leader, an authentic leader, they're going to buy into that leader and they'll move with you faster than you've ever experienced before. If your team doesn't trust you as a person, if they don't feel that you're authentic, they don't feel your integrity, they'll never fully commit to your goals. They're always hedging their bets and leaving a little bit of themselves for other things. At Harbour Resources, our relational partnership approach is built on this very idea. We don't just come in with prepackaged programs. We build genuine relationships to help leaders cultivate this authentic presence needed to inspire their teams. I feel it's something that we're really good at in the work that we do. And I want to challenge you to do that as well, to go to work on that. Be a pro. Go to work on that authenticity, that character, that integrity that we've talked about in this first segment. The second thought I have for you is we have to overcome the insecurities that weaken our leadership. Let's be honest. Every leader deals with insecurity. Look, I've worked with thousands of leaders. I've coached hundreds of leaders, from the CEO down to the mid-level, manager-level leaders. No matter what level they're in, every leader has some sort of insecurity. The fear of making the wrong decision, the fear of hiring the wrong person, of not being liked, of appearing incompetent, not knowing what they should know. But when we allow those insecurities, or many other insecurities that we may have, when we allow those things to drive our actions, we erode, it's an Arkansas word, our own influence. Insecure leaders tend to micromanage, they tend to take credit for others' work, or avoid tough conversations. They operate from a place of self-preservation rather than team empowerment. And this behavior breeds resentment and destroys trust faster than anything else. We can just look out into our society, and some of the leaders at the very tops of leadership positions in our world right now, and some of those insecurities that show up. And I'm not pointing out any one person, I'm pointing out many leaders that you can recognize this in. So how do you overcome this? It starts with self-awareness. Self-awareness is the number one competency, the number one skill, essential skill that you as an individual, as a leader, have to learn to develop. You have to recognize when insecurity is creeping in. You have to recognize when those limits are creeping in to your leadership. Are you avoiding delegating a task because you're afraid it won't be done the way you do it perfectly? That's a little arrogant, isn't it? Are you hesitant to admit you don't have an answer? Facing moments like this with vulnerability is a sign of strength, not weakness. As leadership author and guru, thought leader Brené Brown teaches, vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. I love that. Vulnerability is actually a step in courage. See, when you admit a mistake or ask for help, you show your team that it's safe for them to do the same. You create a culture of psychological safety where people can thrive. And isn't that what you really want as a leader, is a place where people can thrive? Here's a tip for you to take action on. The next time you feel the pull of insecurity, pause. Acknowledge the feeling. Feelings are okay. Acknowledge that it's real. but choose to act from a place of confidence in your team or in your shared mission. Trust them, and in turn, they will trust you. Let me give you just an example from my own life. Like, courage is just taking that step, pausing and taking that step. I love to hike. I like to go on trails where I can get to high places and have great views. And then sometimes what that requires is to hike on a small trail where there's a ledge where you can get injured pretty quickly or even lose your life. And what I have to do in that moment is pause and look forward and say, what is it that I want? And get focused on that why. What do I want so I can take that next step forward versus letting that insecurity, that fear stop me, freeze me, lock me up where I can't move on that narrow path. And leadership is a lot like that. You get frozen, you do things, you make mistakes, you get injured, you hurt others. Learn to trust yourself and then use that experience to help you move forward in the future as well. Here's my third and final thought for you today. Habits build trust and inspire followership. Or they don't. That's my third thought. Good habits build trust and inspire followership. Bad habits inspire the opposite. Trust isn't built in a single grand gesture. It's built through small, consistent actions. I think one of the greatest compliments that you can get from someone is that you're consistent in your day in and day out. If you want to cultivate followership, meaning you're influencing people to follow you, you need to be intentional about your habits. Here's 3 that I want you to write down and work on that help you build influence with integrity. Number 1, do what you say you will do. I know that sounds simple, but how many people do you know that really do what they say they will do? What about you? Look, what about me? I can show you my calendar for today. And there's maybe a couple things that I said I was going to do on my calendar that I didn't do. Recording this podcast today. I've moved this podcast. I had it on my schedule for 3 days ago, and then I moved it to the next day, and then I moved it to the next day. And finally, I moved it to today, and now I'm recording it, right? I didn't do what I was going to say I was going to do, what I said I was going to do. Now, I'm finally getting it done, but I had to adjust my schedule. That's a simple thing, but it's the cornerstone of trust. When you're talking to people, hey, I'm going to do this, do it. It's the cornerstone of trust. If you say you're going to have a conversation with someone about something, do it. And then close the loop, follow up, let people know. Consistency proves your reliability, and it shows your team that your word is your bond. Now, believe it or not, as I said earlier, I work with hundreds of leaders a year. This is one of the number 1 complaints that I hear from people, that direct reports of leaders that I work with, is if they would just do what they say they're going to do, if they would follow up, they would close the loop. I'm teaching you something here that if you do it, your influence is going to grow. The second habit is listen to understand, not just to reply. Many leaders listen while formulating a response. Man, this is a learned skill. I feel like I'm smart. I feel like my ideas are the best ones in the room. I feel like I have a lot to say. I'm aggressive. I'm assertive. I'm loud. I want my ideas heard. But when I learned to do this, when I learned to listen, I don't always do it. I don't always do it well. But when I learn to listen and really seek to understand what's being said, seek to understand the other's perspective, not seeking to give my opinion or reply. That doesn't mean I'm not going to speak into it, but I need to speak with an open mind, or I need to listen with an open mind first. Ask some clarifying questions. Show genuine curiosity. This makes people feel valued and understood. Look, the number 1 reason someone decides to stay with an employer or not is, do they feel valued by their boss? Grow in this habit, like professionally grow in this habit, work on it. Step into a meeting intentionally and say, I'm just going to listen today. I'm not going to seek to reply. Here's the third habit. Put others first. Champion your team's success. Give credit where it's due. Give credit when it's not even due. Like, even if you did something, give credit to others. When things go wrong, take responsibility. Don't point fingers. A leader who protects and advocates for their team is going to earn fierce loyalty. and unwavering support. Look, if you just did those three things right there, your influence is going to grow. You're going to be more authentic. People are going to trust you more. Your success is going to be better in the future as a leader. This is an elite, it seems like a basic leadership principle, but this is an elite leader principle that I'm teaching you today because in my experience, it's not done well in the world today. And look, I'm still growing in these areas myself, but I want to be a pro. I see my leadership position as a profession, not a position. I want to be a pro so I can help you, and I want to lead well for those that I lead around me and on my team. Let me share a few personal growth areas for you, things that you can do. There's no shortage of opportunities out there for you to learn. This is one of them, podcasts, right? Listening to podcasts, learning and being challenged. There's lots of other leadership podcasts out in the world, by the way. This is a good one. Thank you for tuning in, but I'm not the only one. I believe we should listen to different perspectives. I listen to lots of different podcasts to learn different perspectives, new things, new ideas, new techniques. So if you're a professional leader, you need to go to work. You got to get in the game of training and developing your skills. Get in the gym, so to speak. Hire a coach. That's one way. Hire a coach. I invest in coaching all the time for myself because I want to grow. Ask a mentor. Coaching and mentoring, coaching somebody, something you pay for. Mentoring you may not pay for, but people are paying you with their time. So take it seriously. Don't just halfway a mentoring relationship. If you really want to grow, get some mentoring. Reading. Look, reading books, listening to books, Audible, but leaders are readers. Readers are leaders. Take in information. Whatever we take in, whatever we feed our mind is what's going to come out of us. If your leadership is not getting better, it's because you're not taking in the right things. You're still trying to do things the same old way with the same old skills and ideas. Get some training, attend some training, some workshops, some classes. And then lastly, take action. Like, don't just devour books. Don't just read books. Don't just consume information. Take action on it because that's how you apply. It's like going to the gym, right? You've got to take action when you go to the gym. You can't just show up at the gym and sit on the bench and hope something happens. You've got to get in there and move some weight around to really see improvement. So you've got to take action so that you understand, oh, I didn't do that so well. I need to grow in that. Go to work. You're a pro. Elite level leaders are pros. They go to work on the things that they need to go to work on. I want you to remember this as we close out today. Influence is a choice. It's choosing better influence is what I want you to do. You're influencing people either positively or negatively. It's the outcome of 1,000 small decisions you make every day to lead with character and honesty and genuine desire to see others succeed. It's not about being popular. It's about being trustworthy. So here's your challenge for the week. If you want to reflect on one specific action, I want you to reflect on one specific action that you can take to build more trust with your team. Maybe it's having a transparent conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's publicly giving credit to a team member for their great work. If you do that, read my chapter in my book, Quit Losing Talent, on tactical praise so that you do that well. Or maybe it's simply following through on a small promise you made, closing the loop on that. Whatever it is, do it. Because influence isn't just about leading people, it's about empowering them, helping them move forward. And that starts with building a foundation of integrity that they can stand on, that they can believe in, and being consistent in that. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Lead Up Podcast. I hope you found great value in today. Lots of other great episodes to listen to. Keep coming back. Bring somebody with you. Use this as a lunch and learn with your team. Refer us to others and leave us a review on your favorite listening platform.